Welcome to Rad Chat. I'm your host, Brandy Lynn, and today my special guest is Mars, or you might know her as Young Planet on Instagram. She is a model, she's a new YouTuber, and she does development at an animation studio. Welcome! Thanks for coming!
Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here.
I'm so excited for you to be here. We finally get to meet.
Oh my
We're
gosh.
also both Jersey girls. So
201. 201.
I was a 973.
Ooh.
Same thing though, basically.
Is that by Tom's River?
I feel like my uncle's from Tom's River, but that's like a little bit more going to like the beach.
True.
Which is weird because
some of my family has a 973 number.
I have a lot of friends that have a 201 number, so pretty funny. Anyways, a little shout out to Jersey. So thanks for coming. I know it's really crazy in this world right now. Yes. And you have so many different talents. So let's just kind of start of how you got into modeling, because that's how I first kind of met you.
Yeah. It was not at all something that I thought I was going to do or be interested in doing. When I was in high school, I was very interested in photography, but being behind the camera, which then sort of inspired me to go to film school and continue sort of working behind the camera in that space. So I've always shot my friends. I remember being 18 and shooting my best friend Kristen's like suicide girl application photos.
That was a really big thing for life. I think it's still pretty big too.
So we would like take pictures of her all the time. We'd like put her in a milk bath. I was attaching feathers to people, putting people in like haunted places because I thought it was cool. Yeah, so then I went to film school.
Where did you go to film school?
I went to Ithaca College in upstate New York.
Nice. I have a friend that did wrestling up there.
Ah, yes. Yeah. It's also extremely cold.
It's really cold, right?
Very cold.
So you went from cold to colder.
Yes. Not ideal. Then I came all the way out
and
here.
Then to basically all sun.
Yeah, so then I've always been on the other side of the camera. So whether that was filming people or shooting people, never really imagined flipping the script on that. And then when I came out here for Hollywood dreams, I'm gonna make TV. I moved out here in 2015. About 2 weeks after I graduated college, I went back to Jersey, was there for about a week before I was like, actually, I would rather be anywhere but fucking here. Can I curse? I'm sorry.
No,
okay, good.
You're good.
Yeah, I was like, I'd rather be literally anywhere but here. Yeah. So I had called a friend who lived in California.
Oh, nice.
And asked her if she was willing to get on a plane, fly to me, and then drive cross country with me, and then let me live in her bedroom with her for 3 months, and also get me a job.
Oh, did she?
She said yes.
So that's a great friend.
We drove cross country. I lived with her in her bedroom, in her bed with her for like 3 months.
I think you guys got really close from that. Just
yeah, you get like weirdly used to like cuddling.
Yeah, like your best friend. And it's
like
a security thing.
Yeah, so it was like really nice, and it was a perfect little transition. But through her, actually, I met, I guess I would say like the first close to person with Instagram following, who just happened to work at that bar as well. And through
is that where you got a job at a bar?
Yeah, nice. I was a cocktail waitress.
Ooh, cute.
Not fun.
Not fun.
Not fun.
Oh no.
Men be shitty.
I guess like it makes sense because I feel like being a pretty girl and you're new to California.
Oh yeah.
You probably get like
men eat that shit up.
Yeah. And then they're trying to just probably already drunk by the time they're asking you for more drinks and more. Yeah, that probably is pretty rough.
Yeah, they're like, baby, do a shot with us. You're so small. I could just lift you up. And you're like, sir, I'm working. Please do not lift me up. No. I'm sure you can. I'm not surprised.
Right? You're like, let me just wear a fake ring so no one bothers me.
Yeah, please, absolutely not. But through that bar experience and meeting this girl, Katie, who had a bunch of Instagram followers, I met a photographer she worked with.
Oh, okay, nice.
And really nice guy. His name's Gil.
Nice. Shout out to Gil.
Gil Photo. Highly recommend.
We'll tag it somewhere here.
Here, there, wherever. And he kept like hitting me up on Instagram being like, we've never shot, we should shoot. And I was like, I've never done that before.
Oh, so that was your very, very first
It was my very first. Like I've taken like self-portraits, but for like assignments or stuff.
And stuff.
Yeah, so I was like, I've never done a photo shoot, especially one that was more like boudoir kind of style thing.
Yeah.
But
it's a little more
like
intense.
after about like a couple times of him being like, I really think it'll be fun, like you should just try it, and I'm like a pushy way, just in like a, it'd be fun, why not try? He came to my apartment actually, and we shot there like in my bedroom.
Oh, nice.
And
it was a little more comfortable to start.
Yeah, and it was when it was my first wig I had also ever bought. So it was a silver wig, and in the moment, I was like, this looks fucking great.
Yeah.
And looking back, I'm like, girl, you gotta lay your edges so much better.
First time I'm sure though, like those are probably pretty fun to look back on.
It is nice to look back on and see like how far I've come from them, because you can see, I'm sure you see it in your own photos, like how people always say like you glow different when you like feel more confident. And like you can see in those first photos that someone took of me, I am so nervous. And like my arms are all like this the whole time. I'm like trying to like almost like hide my body, and it's very like vulnerable and like
more
very
innocent.
like defensive and innocent. And it took a while to, I'm gonna spit all over this table.
Oh, you're fine.
Get comfortable enough that like I could pose more comfortably. And looking at pictures that I've taken recently, and then
it's a big growth.
It's crazy to see it. But I wasn't even sure after that first photo shoot with Gil that it was something I was gonna like start actively pursuing. Like I started following some photographers on Instagram, and people would like follow me back.
Isn't it so fun when the photographer follows you back? You're like,
oh, okay. I'm like, oh wait, you think I'm cute?
There might be hope.
You want to take a picture of me?
Yes.
Picture? And then after a while, like a couple people would reach out, and I was like, okay, well, maybe I can try again. And just like little by little, I got more and more comfortable, and it made me want to do more and more.
Oh, great.
And now I love doing it. I think it's so much fun.
It's fun, right?
It's great to like work with other models.
It's
great to work with so many creative photographers, because everyone has different styles.
That's true.
So and I mean, we're in fucking LA. There's so much creative hustle out here, and everyone trying to like find their look. So there's a lot of, it's like that TFP thing. Like we're all here like trying to build portfolios and be creative and try new things. And it's nice to have like almost like a safe place to do that. Like where
exactly. That's a good way to
I don't
put
take it too seriously.
But you still are pursuing it in a way that's like passionate for you. That's great.
It's fun.
How was it to transition from you taking photos to then being behind the camera? Obviously in the beginning you said it was a little nervous, but was it something that after you did your first one you still maybe thought you would take photos of people, or do you still actively pursue that?
I haven't taken a lot of photos of people in probably a while. In quarantine I've been trying to take headshots for my friends just to like flex my Photoshop muscles a little bit because it's fun. But I definitely started leaning more into being the person in front of the camera. However, it's very hard for me in any aspect of my life, and especially in that one, to relinquish control and accept the fact that I'm not turning a camera towards me, or like looking in looking in my iPhone and seeing what I look like. Is this better? Is this better? Is this better? Is this better? Exactly. Like the camera that I have that I shoot, any like self-portraits that I take or that I film on has like the little flip viewfinder. So I'm like real quick, like this angle, this angle, this angle, no jaw.
And then it's like 100 photos later. So do you, on your selfies, you use a professional camera for those?
For most of them,
Okay, that's awesome. I feel like that's cool because I feel like now iPhones are so advanced, but you really do tell the difference of a quality photo on a professional camera. So now I'm like thinking like, oh yeah, her Instagram feed is all very professional. I'm like, okay, I get
There's
it
a couple iPhone ones like slipped in there, but God bless Facetune for making everything look slightly more legit.
But I feel like also having the background in photography definitely must have given you a leg up of like kind of knowing like this would be a really bad angle for me, because you kind of remember like, oh, on the other side of it. How did that kind of help you as you were shaping your modeling career? It
definitely actually helped a lot, because so much of learning photography is learning framing and lighting. So being on the other side of the camera, you're very used to like looking around and trying to figure out, where's my light coming from? How's it reflecting on my body? What angle is going to be best for like the way that we're shooting this? I'm this close up. How much are you seeing of me? How much can I fill the frame with my arms to make it a more interesting, dynamic looking photo? Which definitely helps influence the kind of shots that people get of me. And I can quickly sort of turn it on. Like if I get too much in the zone and I catch myself being like, like not doing much, it's like I can quickly sort of be like, okay, if I'm on the other side, I have to assess what's the background, what are we looking at, how can I make a more interesting looking photo for them.
Got you. That's really cool because I feel like that's definitely a leg up, especially like for me who had no experience on the camera side and just kind of went into the world. It is a learning experience. You really have to learn your angles and how just your face is and like what am I doing with my arms? I was when I first started, I never knew what to do with my hands and my arms. I was like, what do I do? But at least I have cool nails, so it's like you kind of show it off.
The nails help because still sometimes I'm like,
because like you can put it on your neck and you're like, oh wait, my nails are pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm like, so this looks dope.
Yeah, exactly.
But when I don't have nails, I'm like, this looks
do?
like a 13-year-old boy's hands.
Right? So how was it to find, like when you're really getting into your modeling, how was it to like find your angles? Did you have a certain pose that was like your pose? How was it to construct your face? Kind of bring us through that.
Yeah, I would say that partly learning my facial angles, I would honestly say goes back to taking selfies on MySpace.
Dude, MySpace.
Which like, obviously like this is not the look. Taking a picture this close with flash to a mirror is
that was my favorite.
This shit.
You got your whole body into it, but it's such a
you got to be able to see everything.
Oh my god,
those your hair takes up most of your face.
Yes,
but I would say like starting there and then going on Tumblr, which is where I went next.
Nice.
And then
that's a lot of people's next step. Like I don't know if you know Alicia Nett.
Yeah,
she got huge on Tumblr.
Yeah. So like that was sort of like the jump for people, and then from Tumblr, Twitter, Instagram. I feel like it's sort of
what you
thing. But for so much of that, you're taking pictures of yourself, even if it's just on photo booth.
Yeah.
So you're constantly trying to figure out like what makes my face look the cutest, which was probably I guess like my start of trying to figure out like what is a good side or what isn't a good side.
Yeah. We all have at least one good, one bad.
Yeah.
This is my good side.
Yeah, this is my good side. So this worked out
perfect.
Yeah. Which is perfect. But so I guess like it kind of started there, and then from there I actually, because I'm just like a type A research junkie, when I first started, when I made the active mental decision that like I am going to like pursue this modeling thing a little bit more seriously and not just take what comes to me, like kind of pursue it a little bit more actively. I spent a lot of time on YouTube watching both photographers shooting models and how they directed them, and on the other side watching people who did self-portraiture and how they would work with the camera and find interesting ways to shoot themselves. So I spent a lot of time doing that. And then I would go through Instagram and I would save. I have on my Instagram, like when you save things, you can create a little folder of just like shots and poses that I really like, so that when I go into a shoot, I have like reference, and I'll try to look at them before going there, so that I don't catch myself doing the same things over and over again. And I challenge myself to be like, oh, I saw that one shoot of what's her name, half lying on the floor, and her legs were in the air, but they were kind of on the couch, and that looked cool. So let me try it. And they don't always turn out great because sometimes it's fucking awkward.
Some people can do it,
and some people can't. Some of these models are 5'10" and weigh 100 pounds.
Right.
I'm 4'10". They got a foot on me.
That's true, because I feel like I similarly did the same thing. I would like look at people that I really admired and take influence and be like, okay, how can I input myself? But I've been there where I've tried to like go on the couch or something, and you're like, I'm like, this is not my angle. I am too like hip oriented to be doing what these skinny girls are doing. But that's a good way to like, especially for people that are listening or watching and like interested, that's a really smart way to do it, because you kind of had all that knowledge and research. So when you went into it, you were like ready to go into it, it seems to say. Yeah,
I don't like to do anything without researching the fuck out of it first.
That's really smart.
And I think it's a combination of, one, I like to be prepared, and two, I am absolutely afraid of failing at something. So if I can do everything I can, I at least know that I fucking tried. And of course, like I'm at a slight disadvantage because I'm height disadvantaged. I'm 4'10". I'm fucking
so you can't do like
short.
Runway.
So I have to get a little bit creative with the ways, and like obviously alternative modeling.
It's so open. That's
much. Instagram modeling really opened the doors for modeling to be much more inclusive, I think, and then from there, obviously like the Vogues and the runways are taking more people of color, taking trans, taking lots of different looking people, tattoos,
which is what we need in this world right now. Everyone to be included. Short, tall, tattoos.
So it feels nice to like be able to go to a meetup or something and I'll have moments where I'm like, I'm gonna be the shortest girl there. And because I'm the shortest girl, I'm not gonna be the tallest, leanest girl. And someone's not gonna wanna shoot me as much. But seeing so much of it online, when you see yourself in something, it makes you feel like you can do it too.
Yeah.
So like when I'm looking at models online, I try to find actively ones that are clearly short, but try to look tall.
And there's so many probably tricky ways to do it, because I feel like I'm average height, I'm like 5'6", but I had the same thing, like I'm not 5'10". So when I lived in Jersey and I was trying New York when I was younger, it was so brutal, because I'm like the young one trying to like be a cute little girl model with no tattoos yet, and they're like, oh, you're not tall enough. Oh, and I'm like, oh, you're not skinny enough. Like it was so rough. So when I moved to California, you're right, it's so inclusive. Being in like a tattoo model or ink models, you find a whole community of people where they don't give a shit how tall or what your body type is, what color your skin is. Like that is so important too, that you also found that as well.
Yeah. So it feels good to see a lot more of that, because then it makes us feel like if you can see people doing it, then you can do it.
Yeah.
And then I could if they could figure it out at 5 feet tall, how to look tall and lean and take a dope ass photo.
Yeah.
Then like, why can't I?
Dude, your pictures are fire, girl. Like being 4'10" doesn't matter. You would
I always
know.
wonder.
Honestly, I had no idea how tall you were.
Comment down below. How tall do you think?
Yeah, how tall do you think she is?
I definitely already said it.
Yeah, we already said it. How tall do you think she looks is what we should say.
Better question.
Comment down below.
Yes.
But I feel like I had no idea. Like obviously you do talk about how you're petite, but I would just thought like, oh, like you're just a petite girl. But then I would never know you were 4'10", but you don't come off like that. So that's obviously you playing into your style of like you know how to trick the system, which is really empowering for you, I'm sure too, that you don't have to feel like that's crushing you.
Yeah.
Did you feel in the beginning there was some things like that you would be super nervous about? And
I think so, definitely, because it's already like nerve-wracking enough to like make that jump to do something where you're literally using your own body and putting it on display to be judged, really, when you're modeling or having people take photos of you. And when you don't totally feel comfortable doing what you're doing, you don't want to feel like the photographer wasted their time shooting me, or they didn't get any good photos, and that's why like they didn't post them or something. Or when you look at the feeds of photographers you might want to work with, you just see nothing but like the super thin, super lean women, and you're like, why would this guy want to work with me? I'm not going to reach out to him. He clearly only wants to shoot
these types
girls'
of
abs with like watermelon dripping on them.
Right.
Which is a whole different conversation. But
we can go there.
But like it definitely felt very limiting until I started realizing that the fact that I didn't look like those women was to my advantage.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So I went to a meetup. My friend Katie invited me to go to the portrait shooters meetup with like John Snip and Alex Liquid Verve, and they're like all really big in like the Instagram photography modeling industry. And like I was looking at the number of followers that everyone had and what they all looked like, and I was like, oh my gosh. But then when I got there and I was in the car with Katie, we drove together, she was like, the reason you're here is because you look the way that you do, not because you look the way that the traditional Instagram model looks. We chose you because you're an alternative model, because we love your hair, because we love the way you look.
Yeah, that's great.
And they think you're doing good. So like, I'm like, you're right. That's why I'm here, because I look like me, not because I look like anybody else.
Meanwhile, guys, Mars has had blue hair, pink hair, peach hair. She has blonde hair now. I think I've known you. You had like orangey hair when I first started following you. So she's been through the spectrum. Let her know if you want her to pick a color nice.
Let me know which color.
She's gonna keep blonde for a little while though. Don't rush her.
Yes.
But that's actually really empowering too, because I feel like the alternative world is true. Like they want what's different, and I think that is a very empowering thing, because I had the same thing. I was very worried about having like too big of hips, and I was like, I fucking want to shave them down. Like I'm never gonna book any jobs. Or I felt like I wasn't alternative enough sometimes. So then it's like, shit, like I don't know where I fit in. But then you realize like they don't really care if you kind of fit the niche. It's because you're different. So that's really empowering.
Yeah. I think it's a really good feeling.
Do you feel like as you got into that mold, that actually helped grow your confidence? Do you feel like you've always been a confident person, or does being in that modeling world helped your confidence?
Oh, it definitely helped.
Oh, good.
Oh, for sure.
Good.
And partly because I thrive. I'm a Cancer. I like thrive on the validation of strangers. Like, tell me I'm good.
Guys, tell her she's
tell me I'm
pretty
good.
and good. She is gorgeous. Let's just start
Tell
there.
me I'm good.
I'm a Scorpio though, so I understand the astrology of it. Because I'm so nerdy into astrology, and like being a Scorpio, people think that I don't want to be told nice things, but I actually do want to be told nice things. But it's funny you say you're a Cancer.
Oh yeah, very emotionally driven, and my fucking love language is like words of affirmation.
Yes.
So I'm
me
like,
too.
tell me I'm good.
Yes.
If I do something, just tell me I'm good at it. But it definitely took my confidence to a place that I never expected to see it.
Yeah.
Especially, like, I was a little emo kid in New Jersey growing up.
Yes, girl rock.
So, and like, I mean, I don't look a day over 21 right now, and I'm 27. So, like, that's great for me now as an adult woman.
But when
when you're 15 and you look like you're 12 and you're trying to be, like, alternative, but you don't have, like, you're going based on, like, what MySpace says is cool, which is not particularly flattering to anybody's
days.
Anything.
The blossoming days of our lives.
Oh my gosh. But so doing that, and then being raised by a very alternative person, was raised in a conservative area in New Jersey. So my mom was very much the kind of person that like projected what she wanted for herself onto me, and was always sort of like, you have to look more normal. You just have to look the way everyone looks so that you don't...
You blend in.
Yeah.
Would she use the word normal with you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Which like is not good vocabulary to use with a child who's just trying to express themselves.
Yeah. Do you feel like that affected you kind of growing up and made you more alternative?
Yeah, that whole like, fuck you, mom.
Rebel against,
Listen to me, listen to screaming music in my bedroom. I like drew Alex Party tentacles all over my walls and wrote Paramore and Dance Gavin Dance lyrics all over everything.
I plastered my walls with all rock papers I picked up from Warped Tour.
Yep.
They're all like stomped on.
Oh my gosh.
Same girl.
Yeah, I was just writing lyrics all over everything.
Too funny.
So.
But I'm sure that's kind of hard growing up in like a conservative world when you in your soul feel you're very alternative.
Yeah. And when you see what it's, what the fuck is it? Words. It's like when you see something enough, it becomes attractive to you, right? So it's like when you're constantly looking at people that don't look like you, you're going to be like, okay, what is wrong with me? Why don't I look like that? But then fighting as a teenager to be like, okay, but this is what I actually want to look like, but this is what norm says is traditionally beautiful, attractive. So dealing with that for a long time put me in a place where I'm like, I'm not like other girls. Like the only way to like find that beauty in myself was to put myself against other women and find ways that I thought I was better than them, which is fucked up. Don't do that. Women support each other.
Yes. I feel like that is a great just like moment to say like, it's good to recognize where you might have been, but it's good to come to a place where women just support women.
Yeah.
And I think young teens go through that hard time because we all do that. We all like pick yourselves against each other. Like, I mean, I can't even say I'm 25. I look at your photos. I'm like, this bitch is amazing. And I'm like, how can I be more like her? But then I just take myself. I'm like, okay, she's gorgeous. I love her photos, but I also like support you. Like, I'm gonna comment on all your photos, and I think that's really positive. So I just had to. Put that in there.
Like I feel like one of the hardest things I had to learn was someone else's beauty doesn't mean the absence of your own. And I feel like I didn't come into that until honestly probably I started doing like modeling more seriously, because I found myself looking at myself in the mirror and being like, no, you know what? I look fucking good.
Yeah,
I work
great though.
I do health and fitness because I feel good doing it, and I feel like I look good and I feel good.
That's amazing.
And like it just took a very long time to get there, and to not base how I felt about my, not attack the microphone, to base how I felt about myself on the on what other people assigns, how other people assigns value to me. I butchered that sentence. I finally got to a place where my self-worth and what I liked about myself, I weighed more heavily than what other people thought of me.
And that's really great. I mean, as a young girl, that's super hard to deal with. So that's totally okay that it took you however long it took you, because I feel like that probably makes you so much stronger now. Like when you shoot with other people or other people shoot you, or just connecting with people, even like coming on my podcast, like it's so important because you can just look back and be like, okay, I've come such a long way. But that's also great to remember that you've been in a certain place.
Yeah.
And that's really empowering too.
Yeah, I think it's very humbling, and it makes me I mean, you imagine being in fucking high school right now?
Dude, high school is the worst. I hated high school.
High school was bad enough when I was making internet friends on MySpace, and like the worst I had to deal with was like real life bullies, not like online bullies.
Dude, yes. I don't know how.
I had we had a good amount of cyberbullying because we were in high school as the like
first kind of trend of it.
Yeah, when social media was really getting to that place where like Form Spring was a thing.
Dude,
so you could like, oh my gosh, that's like where all the drama would start.
Dude, people were so mean to me.
So like that cyberbullying, that was one thing. But now I can't imagine being in high school, and having people like look at you based on how many Instagram followers you have, how many TikTok followers do you have.
It's so bad. Yeah, TikTok.
Like what do you look like? The makeup I did in high school? Are you kidding me? There are high schoolers that do makeup like me right now. Dude, and this took a decade to perfect.
Isn't that so wild? Like when we really think back to our days in school, like what the fuck were we thinking? Like I look back.
Oh my god, I'm gonna send you pictures. Dude, you can insert them here.
Yes, we'll insert everything. Dude, oh my god, how crazy though that is. Same girl, because, and especially in New Jersey, I feel like we have that in common, is that the East Coast is so much different than the West Coast.
Oh my gosh.
People are a little bit more open to craziness or like abnormal, but in New Jersey or the East Coast, close to New York, we were very close to New York.
Yeah, that tri-state area.
Brutal. I would wear check your skinny jeans to school and was so bullied. People were like, what are you doing?
I used to get, we were talking earlier about how as little emo kids, we would go to like VFW shows.
Yes.
And I never like knew the bands that I was seeing, but I would just be so excited to like be around musicians that were older than me that I would have them sign my pants.
Yes. And
so I had a pair of jeans, my Hollister stretchy skinny jeans that were strictly my show jeans.
Okay.
And I would go to the shows with a red and a black Sharpie, fully ready for everyone who got on stage to like sign my pants.
Oh my god, I love it.
And my mom was like, absolutely no, you cannot wear these pants to school. Like some dude signed your ass.
Did you wear them to school?
Oh, I not only wore them to school, my mom wouldn't let me, so I would bring them in my backpack along with my eyeliner. So I would go to school early, go to the bathroom, change into my show pants, and do my like extremely heavy black eyeliner.
God, I love
and
it.
I had bangs I had bangs.
Yeah.
And then I had bangs that were almost like sort of like bowl cutty and terrible, but I used to wear a black bandana underneath them and like tie it behind my hair.
I love it though. I love thinking back to those moments because like emo was so cool for people like us.
Yeah, that was my life. It still is.
Emo's not dead.
I don't think it will ever die.
It will never.
We literally just bought do you watch Matt Cuttrell's
videos?
I
love him. Shout out to Matt.
My boyfriend and I are obsessed, but we just bought his coffee.
Oh my, he has coffee now?
Yeah, so he came out with a emo screamo coffee blend.
Oh my god, I have to get it. You just inspired me.
It shipped from downtown LA.
Right after. Dude, his videos are hilarious because this is such a tangent, but my coworker who's not into this music at all, she had showed me him because she follows like his girlfriend or wife and just like their influencey stuff, and she's like, dude, I think you're gonna really love this guy because you're so into this music. And I'm like, who is it? So then she showed me. Dude, I'm at work in my cubicle like fucking dying laughing. The people next door are like, are you okay over there? I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. I'm fine.
All good.
Just found the greatest person in my life.
Just reliving 2008.
Yes. That's so hilarious.
It's such a special, it has such a special place. I mean, all of early 2000s fashion is just it's such a dumpster fire. It's incredible. But that specifically, because when I was getting ready, I watched like Get Ready with Me's.
Yeah. Also, she just did a Get Ready with her, so we'll link it. Go follow Life on Mars. Life on Mars, right?
Life on Mars.
Perfect. Life on Mars.
Yeah, but I think they're so fun to watch while I'm getting ready. But I was watching someone do an early 2000s one.
Okay.
But like the Britney Spears silver blue packed eyeshadow, terrible fake self tan.
Probably got it at Claire's.
The like butterfly clips. Just
very nice.
Amazing. So it's like that was one side of like the early 2000s, and then the flip side was just like
all the screamo music.
Yeah.
So good. Yeah. That's hilarious though, because I feel like especially kind of what you're saying, like trying to find your way. I feel like that music helped me belong, because I feel like you probably, like you just say, I feel like I didn't belong in high school or middle school, and everyone bullied me and I was a weird girl. But when I would go to a concert, I would just be in this crowd of everybody else that probably doesn't feel like they belong, or misfits, and I belonged there. And I think that helped my confidence, and I'm sure that also probably helped yours.
Definitely. There's a huge sense of community that I feel like is very prevalent from that sort of like MySpace emo time. I mean, whenever you meet someone that was like, oh yes, I had a scene phase, you're like, oh girl, we gotta sit down and go through some pictures together. We are now best friends. Do you want to listen to some Taking Back Sunday and go to emo night? I mean, that's why emo night,
I connected to you too, because
you can sense it in people. Like my emo senses start tingling, and I'm like,
it's like when we had New Jersey, check. One, oh, you're an emo girl? Check.
Check.
Oh, you shot with Melissa? Check.
Check. Yeah, it's so,
But that's really great, because I feel like that, if you weren't like kind of feeling like you don't know where you're at, like your mom's maybe not helping you find your way, and then you find this music and that helps you, I'm sure that just really had you grow from there. Yeah. Especially if you were going through maybe not so great of a time, if you didn't feel like you were the normal.
Yeah, it's like a great way to find something that like connects you with people. Yeah. And emo music is all like emotional music, so it like connects you with people that are also probably also having a hard time. Yeah. Because typically happy people aren't always listening to emo music. We all got every person has some level of baggage. Yeah. Emo kids typically just had a little bit more than the average person. Yes. But that was also a safe place, especially in the early 2000s, to talk about like mental health and stuff in a way that was not okay, and still is only kind of getting to a place where it should, like, you could actively be like, yes, my therapist said, and that's just common tongue, and that's fine.
But during those days,
I remember being in high school and sort of coming to terms with the fact that like, oh no, there's I got some serious fucking depression, anxiety, bitch, OCD, baby. But I remember. And I remember going to the school counselor, having my parents come in, and them being like, you can't see a shrink because what will people say? And that was sort of the thing. But, you know, emo culture, because it's so emotionally driven, because it's so open to therapy. Yeah, it's very cathartic, and it allows you to meet other people that sort of function as like group therapy when therapy wasn't necessarily accessible to a lot of people.
And that's a really good thing to point out, because yes, now it's becoming really in the stigma, but back then it wasn't. So it's like weird people that are like, please go to therapy, it's so great for you.
Yeah, please do it. We wish we could have done it. I know, but then you rely so heavily on that community to help you through those hard times.
And I'm sure as like a model, that is really empowering, because we as models are very like open to negativity and whatever people say and trolls, but we have probably come from so much of that, and having that community of the emo music or what we grew up in, that now I'm sure when you're modeling, you have more of that. Like you said, you have more self-worth of yourself, and it's more confidence you bring into that. So you can help the younger generation of maybe models that you shoot with or coming up. So I'm sure that's even more empowering.
Yeah, also, no one will ever be as mean to you these days as they were on Formspring.
Dude. I'm
like, I can take it all.
Dude, yes. What was the worst thing you got told on Formspring?
Oh,
if you can remember.
I'm trying
maybe
to
off your head. I think mine was like, I see you in the hallway and you're so fat and like nobody likes you.
Well, I remember being called an emo bitch.
That actually would be endearing now.
Yeah, now I'm like,
okay, call me an emo
TM.
bitch. Yeah.
Copyright it.
Yes.
Put it on my resume.
Yes. Instagram bio.
Oh, man. But I wish I could remember the exact things. People were just fucking mean. I mean, people at that age, and even still now.
Yeah.
But people specifically at that age, hate anything that's different. Because it challenges that sense of like, because when you're in high school, you're supposed to fit in the box. That's the whole thing. You're coming into yourself with puberty and everything, and everyone wants you to just fit in the box and be easy. But and then as soon as you pop out of the box and you're like, actually, let me fuck some shit up real quick. No one likes that, because it challenges like that sense of normalcy.
Yeah. That's really good to say too, because it's really true, important, and it really happens. But going into more like current Mars modeling, how is your process of it? Do you reach out to photographers still? Do you have like a book that you made in this, or you just use your Instagram as kind of your book?
I've been curious about whether or not like during this day and age, I haven't worked with any like agents or
Okay.
I don't want to say legitimate because all
yeah.
modeling is pretty legitimate.
But like ghosties type.
Yeah, like I don't show up at like an audition with like a book. I feel like I work more specifically with just like creatives online than necessarily going through like brands and stuff. Though I did just get my first branded modeling gig.
Shout out. Can you talk
Color
about it?
proof,
Okay.
I think I can talk about it. I mean, I haven't signed anything yet, so
Okay.
they haven't told me I can.
Yes.
But it's for like a hair company.
Dude, that's awesome.
Which is great. So
Congrats.
I always told myself that
Yes.
once I like officially get like either published or paid, that's sort of the marker where I can say I am a legitimate model.
Okay. So so far right now you haven't gotten paid for anything?
I've gotten paid, but I had not been published.
Got you.
So now it'll be a combination of both.
Okay.
So I'm like, I think it's safe to like call myself a
Dude, when you
legitimate
get your
model
first
now.
magazine, you're gonna die. It's so exciting.
I've seen.
You have to. You would definitely be in a magazine by now.
Yeah.
You have to submit. Have you submitted?
No. So that I'm also not too familiar with.
Okay.
So that's something
We can talk off record.
We can figure that out
Yes,
because that's
girl.
something I
I
had
got
never
you.
sort of experienced. Because I definitely work pretty much primarily off of Instagram.
Okay. Which
So-
is really nowadays. That's fine. That's totally like really popular.
And I've met a lot of photographers either locally, just in the LAOC area, that'll either reach out to me or I'll reach out to them. And I've gone to a fair amount of meetups in the past year, which are just so much fun.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about the meetups? How is that process?
So I
for
went
people that don't
to, so there is one company that's Long Beach based, and they're called the Gypsy Shack, and they host monthly meetups where a number of photographers and a number of models will sign up and show up.
Oh, nice.
And you get a certain time slot, and you get to work with 5 other models and 5 to 10 other
that's
photographers.
dope.
And it's a great opportunity to like, number one, like see how different people would shoot you in the same scenario, which is always interesting. And secondly, it's all networking. So you meet other models, you follow them, you get to see the people they work with. Or you meet these photographers, you get to shoot with them in other situations. You meet their friends. Their friends put together meetups, and then you meet those photographers.
That's an awesome networking for models.
Yeah.
Which is
and it's a lot of
more
fun.
new to this day and age.
Yeah, and there's a lot of different ones. There are some that are paid. There are some that are not paid, probably.
Like time for print.
Yeah. The ones that I've gone to, but they're still like fairly inexpensive. Like you're paying like $20 to $35
To shoot with all these photographers.
Yeah, for
It's not
plenty of content. So you're getting your money's worth, and you get to meet a lot of really different kinds of photographers, which is a lot of fun. And I like doing that kind of stuff.
That's awesome.
Because then it just opens up a lot of opportunities. Because now, though I'm still constantly trying to meet new photographers online, a lot of the ones that I've worked with recently are just friends of friends. Because the Instagram photography world is so close-knit, so they're always like reposting each other's stuff or like re-editing someone's stuff. And like through that is a great way to be like, oh, that guy did a really great job. I'd love to reach out to him and maybe we can shoot when he's in LA next.
That's awesome. Do you feel like that also helped grow your content on your Instagram and your followers just going to all these meetups?
I think so. It felt almost like overnight. Not that I have
you
like
do have a lot of followers. You are pretty popular on Instagram.
Yeah, it's
people really comment on all your pictures.
Yeah,
so you're very
I have
popular.
Pretty good engagement.
Yeah.
Which sort of like it happens pretty quickly, and then when I made the jump, it just kept growing. And the growth has been like very steady, and I'm very thankful for that.
Yeah. Guys, go check out her Young Planet. We'll put it down here.
Young Planet.
Young dot Planet.
Young dot Planet. It's my
Young
hype girl
with just
name.
you and I. What was it?
It's my hype girl name.
Yes, girl, get it.
But yeah, I guess that definitely like
helped,
and that helped me get a better sense of like how to use Instagram as a business and a brand, rather than something that like I'm posting like I'm at the beach today, or like me and my boyfriend made dinner. Here's a picture, which like those kinds of accounts
are fun.
Are also fine.
Put
and
it
fun.
in your story though.
But so I've definitely, with taking it more seriously, taking modeling more seriously, have figured out. Not to a T, but
it's everything.
But
about
in a growing,
growth.
is how to use Instagram to create a brand and build it as a business. So it's like now I feel like when you look at my Instagram, you see like there's a whole blue-haired section, there's a whole pink-haired section, no, there's a whole blonde-haired section.
Smart,
but tonally, the colors are the same. The
Do you
looks
use,
I try
one
to.
preset.
I go through like 7 different apps.
I know that's like a big thing right now, like the presets of all the colors on the grid.
Yeah. So I try to like keep them similar. But different enough that I can still have
some leeway.
Yeah, and not feel boxed into like keeping everything cream colored or something silly like that. But that definitely helped, and I feel like all of those things sort of snowballing helped sort of grow the Instagram that I do have now. So it makes it a little bit easier for me to now jump to cross platforms and go to YouTube, eventually TikTok, if I can ever figure out how it works. That makes me feel old.
I know, I feel like
I don't understand TikTok.
I feel like old for TikTok, but then I'm like, well, celebrities are on it and like everyone else is doing it, so I guess
it's really funny.
It's pretty funny. I always watch them. They're super fun.
Yeah, I mostly use TikTok to watch.
Yeah.
But eventually
I learned how to do hair things on there because I'm really bad at doing my hair, so I'll learn how to like do a braid or some shit or like buns. I don't know. But that's really incredible because it's good to learn that you can use Instagram now as a tool to grow your business because you think you are your business, you are a brand.
Yeah.
What was one of the things that was like most interesting to learn to like that you're like, okay, like I got this down on Instagram, like I'm pretty good now? Was there anything that really like challenged you of doing it or really was like, that's really cool to learn?
I feel like learning how to take my own good outfit of the day picture is one of the hardest things I have tried to figure out how to do. Because it's one thing to like take this picture and like I've got that down. I know how to hold my phone with my nails.
You're like, I'm good with my selfie.
But like to find a way to like set up like a self timer and like take a legitimate photo of yourself in your outfit that feels not quite professional, but like someone else could have maybe taken it. Has definitely been a challenge that I'm still trying to figure out.
Nice.
To add just like that
More
level
content.
Of variety in content. So it's like close-ups of my face, modeling pictures, outfit picture.
Gotcha.
So there's more variety in there. And I think as a challenge to myself is trying to find either photos I can recreate from creators that I like and love.
Which you just did recently
look.
with those flowers, right?
Yeah. And I feel like that's a fun way to challenge like the typical content that I'll put out because I'm constantly saving pictures that people do, whether it's legitimate magazines or people recreating that Bella Hadid floral thing, which is what that was.
Oh, that was off of Bella.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So it was like inspired by.
Yeah.
But there's so many great makeup looks. There's so many amazing, talented people out there that you can then like find a way to like make it your own and recreate it and like try something a little bit different than you would typically do and like challenge yourself to shoot that in a different way.
Yeah.
So I've been trying to do more of that sort of a thing too.
Nice.
Which has been fun and difficult.
Yeah, which is good because then you'll learn even more from that. But I feel like that's also full circle to kind of how you've already been talking because to be inspired by someone that might not even look like you and then recreate it to make it look like you opens that audience to girls that look like you and like, oh wait, she's doing something like that. I can then go from there.
Yeah.
So that's actually really great that you're doing that because you and Bella obviously don't look the same. You have tattoos and different color hair. But here you are like doing inspire of an inspire and then you put it out to your audience and they're going to be even inspired by you.
Yeah.
That's really awesome.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of fun ways to make art that already exists your own.
Your own, yeah. That's really
in whatever medium it is that you use Instagram for.
Yeah. Do you feel like there's anything about Instagram or just modeling lately that you're like in love with? Like, did you have a shoot that you just really were like, oh my God, this is like, I feel so legit about this shoot? Or just in general modeling, like, do you have that moment where you're like, oh my God, like, I'm killing it?
Oh, that's a great feeling when you like know that you're doing well.
I feel like we've all had ones where we did not feel well.
Yeah, like you leave the shoot and you're kind of like,
I don't know.
Not my best work.
Yeah.
Not my best work.
Yeah.
But I really love and would love to try to find a way to do more of the, I don't know if themed is the right word. There's this girl, Ashley, who I became friends with on Instagram. And she does a lot of like very like themes, very costumes, like very stylized shoots. Like she did a shoot with this one person, Storm, I think is their name. But it was all themed to look like the movie Hereditary, but in a way that was so like their own.
Got you. Okay.
That like if
So
you
it's
know
like
Hereditary, you're like,
that's good.
That's the illusion. I know what you're referencing.
So
but
they
it's
take,
also
like, cosplay and make it artistic. Way more than just like
I
dressing
love
as the person.
that.
Okay.
And then she did the same one recently. Not the same one, but like a similar sort of thing where she did like this very ethereal like angel-esque shoot,
okay.
but like
Like
the lighting
fantasy.
reflects that it's very like etherial,
Yeah.
and the girl has wings and her makeup's all like pastel and light and dewy,
that's really
and
nice.
it's just gorgeous. And I love those kinds of like over stylized shoots
Okay, so
that
you
are
kind of
like either
more
meant
into
to
You kind of did that with the
reference.
one with the crown. That was kind
Yeah.
of more like fantasy in a sense.
yeah, I love that kind of stuff because you get to like almost play a character
Yes.
in a way. There's one that I'm planning on doing or trying to figure out how to do where I forget her name. I think it's like Lovely Perks or something, but she's a Philly-based
Okay.
photographer,
Oh, nice.
and she does a lot of shoots with what almost looks like pillow stuffing,
Oh,
but
okay.
they're as clouds, and she hangs them above
that's
sort of the way she
rad.
shoots it, so it feels very like ethereal. It feels very light and airy, and
Dude, that's dope.
so
It's
I'm like,
crazy
okay,
what
so I'm
people
gonna go to
can do.
Joann's and buy some pillow stuffing
Yes.
and figure that out.
But that's awesome that you're and especially too, that's a good segue because you have an animation background, but you're doing these things that are very artistic and creative, and you're bringing it into your brand. Oh gosh. So, how would you then, like, how does your animation background come into play then? Because it seems like that's very connective there.
Yeah, I feel like working so much in animation helps me find ways to play with color
Okay.
in interesting or new or unique ways, and also figure out how to make things look more cartoony or
Okay.
pop. Because for a long time, and like even still now, I like some basic colors.
Yeah.
I haven't played a lot with color besides my hair.
Yeah.
But when it
Your
comes
hair's a
down
lot
to
of
it,
color.
like makeup and stuff, like I always try to keep it like very light and basic and natural and like that soft glam shit.
Yeah.
But being in animation, like all the colors pop. I work in kids animation, so it's all about
Okay.
things looking extra cute, extra poppy.
Nice.
And seeing so much of that definitely changes the way I think about color and the
Yeah.
way that color works, or how things just look when they're super fucking cute.
Yeah, that's really inspiring too,
Yeah.
because you have that to draw back on. So you said you work in kids animation. Can you say like what type of shows or things you work on,
Yeah.
or how you got into animation? We can start there.
Yeah, so I work for a company called Oddbot. We're an independent animation studio based in LA.
Shout out to Oddbot.
Oddbot. Love that place. Best job.
Are you
I've
guys
ever
working
had.
from home right now?
Yes.
Nice.
We're very lucky because animation sort of thrives in this work from home
Oh,
remote
okay. Good.
sort of
So that's
work
really
environment,
good. That's
because we are
amazing.
constantly working with just the nature of the animation industry is you outsource the actual modeling and the actual animation. We work with a studio in Toronto. We work with
nice.
a studio in Vancouver. We work with studios in Ireland
Oh,
and,
wow. So you're
and South
already
Africa.
used to kind of
So
doing
we're always constantly working against time zones and working
Oh,
with
okay.
people all over the world.
Yeah.
So this
But
is
that's really rad
the only
that you
difference is
connect.
that like I'm wearing sweatpants.
Yeah. Right.
And like even my
In
boss wouldn't care.
pajamas.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, but I started at Oddbot. I think my 4-year anniversary was June.
Oh, congrats! Yes,
Thank you.
girl.
So I've been there for
Pull
4
you
years.
Some more as you're telling your story.
Yeah, so I started there 4 years ago, and it was sort of a I stumbled upon it.
Okay.
I was working a job that I hated because obviously when you move to LA with the dreams of working in the entertainment industry
It's
without a
very
very
hard.
specific goal even in mind. I studied documentary in college.
Oh, okay.
That's a very difficult career to really go into because documentary is either news or journalism, or you need to be able to like spend the money and the time to like create something on your own.
Did you? I know you said you went originally to film school. Did you kind of like already know you weren't gonna really pursue that as you came out here, just because it was so difficult?
Oh, I fully thought I was still gonna pull it off.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I had a lot of ambition.
Oh, that's good
But-
though to have that, and you can
Yeah.
still always go into that. And
Exactly.
You're doing YouTube now, and that just is one step away.
Yeah. So I came out here, was trying to find any kind of job that just like got me on set or got me like behind the scenes on set in production. And because you're new, your first jobs you're gonna get are either PA or regular assistant. So I was working an assistant gig and I hated it.
Yeah. Assistant gigs are no fun.
And then it was just a very old Hollywood kind of place.
Oh, okay. So very.
So like I was
just getting the coffee.
Yeah, and like I was doing like some quality control stuff, which I thought was much more important. So I was like closer to the post team, and then the receptionist quit, and they were like, "Oh, but you're cute. Can you sit up front and be the receptionist? And
Oh,
we'll pay
so
you
they
the
just put you
same."
everywhere.
And I was like, I would rather fucking die. So while sitting at the reception area, I was applying to other jobs and just
We've been
applying
there.
everywhere.
Everywhere you can,
and got an interview at this animation studio, which I didn't know anything about. And I sat down for my interview, and to this day, I still make the joke to my boss that the only reason he hired me is because our entire interview, we just talked about Futurama, because it's my favorite TV show and it's his favorite show.
Such a good show.
That was all the interview was.
So good.
And then I went home, and then they called me and they were like, yeah, you could just work here. You can work here.
But see, that's important, because I feel like you form that connection, you know, like it's gonna be a good environment for you. Is he still your current boss too?
Yes.
Oh, that's
so
awesome.
I started as his assistant, and then he sort of groomed me of sorts to be able to like review animation on my own, to be able to give notes on scripts on my own, to learn about preschool and 6 to 11 development.
Dude, that's so dope.
So everything I know about my job now, I learned on the job, which very thankful for, that my boss was also sort of my mentor.
And then on-job experience is so much more important. You can go to school and learn things, like we have our degrees, but how much of your degree am I using? Not a lot.
Yeah, honestly, I'm using more of it on my YouTube channel.
Yeah, exactly. So I went to school for business, so like I'm just trying to grow a business.
Yeah. So
my job is not really related. I mean, it is, but it is not.
Yeah, it's like very lightly sort of
thread in there.
Yeah.
But that's awesome that you had a boss that really wanted to help you grow within that company.
Yeah, so that was really, it's nice to have someone sort of like boost you up.
Yeah.
Because they just genuinely see that potential in you. So he got me to a place where I was coordinating on a project that we were working on with Nick Jr. and a studio in Toronto. And then from there, he was like, you have an eye for development and creating story, so we're gonna push you in that direction. And I pushed against him for a little bit because I'm very type A.
Like nervous about it? Or just not?
More so like, because like there's a lot of pressure because it's entirely creative. My job is 100% creative now.
Oh, dope.
Or like 95% creative and 5% like making schedules and shit. But most of the time it's reading stuff, watching stuff, giving notes on things, doing research, just like figuring out what's on air, what's not on air, where the gaps in the market are, and like what makes a good show for a 5-year-old.
Yeah. So, and that's kind of like you have to put yourself back into like that kid.
There's so much research. It's all crazy. But I originally was like, oh no, I'm very type A. I like schedules. I love a good spreadsheet. It's like I can get hard on like a really nicely laid out Excel doc.
You love Excel. I mean, you do say you love knowledge of just doing all that background research anyways.
Yes, so I definitely sort of turned myself into this like external hard drive of miscellaneous research on like any child from age like 2 to 10. So now anytime my boss like needs to know something, he's like, what's that show on Disney that's about this? I'm like, oh, Star versus the Forces of Evil.
You're like, I got it.
Yes, and he's like, yeah, well, like 5 and 6-year-olds. I'm like, actually 5-year-olds, they can do imaginative play and they like to play with their friends, but they're not actually playing with them. They're playing by themselves next to their friends. By the time they get to 7, they can role play with another person. And he's just like,
you got it down.
Perfect. Okay, so what's your note?
See, that's really great because then that just plays into your personality. Like he knew you would be ready for that, and then here you are like, name it all. I got it.
It's fun. And it's also like, on the worst day at my job, I'm still making kids' cartoons.
Yes.
So it's like, on a bad day, I'm reading a pitch about like a cute like monkey and his like onion friends, and they're wrestlers, but it's in an imaginary world and they have to do quests.
Yeah. Do you feel like that's really helped you like kind of have that sense of like you're almost kind of growing up with these shows again, like in that way?
Yeah, definitely. Especially because you're seeing them from like the seed of an idea. When someone comes in and they're like, so what if we had a show about a chair and a shoe and they're friends and they're trying to live, but they're like, you're just like making up BS, and you get to just like brainstorm with them and take it from like whatever that small idea is all the way to actual execution, and just all of the ebbs and flows that come with production, because there's so many changes that happen.
Dude,
but like seeing something like actually come to be and then seeing people enjoy it and then grow up with it. It's also fun to like get to spend my day referencing like, oh, I want to make a show like Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy, or I love Danny Phantom. It's so good.
I used to watch those.
Yeah, so like those kinds of shows were my favorite kinds of shows growing up. So now I get to like look back at what did I wish I had to watch when I was a kid? Or how can I recreate or like find a new way to tell these sorts of like spooky, cute, scary stories that I loved, but for a new audience.
Yeah, that's so dope. I mean, I have no experience in that genre. I just loved like growing up watching shows and movies. I feel like, how is it to like pitch ideas and like how is that process?
So fucking stressful. It took a while to get comfortable, I think, actively like speaking up in a meeting and saying, okay, but what if instead of getting bopped on the head, because it's entirely just like taking whatever silly creative idea comes in your head and pitching it across the table and not getting offended when someone's like, no, not that.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Because it's just, you're supposed to just rapid fire kind of
ideas off,
figure out ideas and like build character, and there's no right or wrong way to do it really. Yeah. It's just like being very collaborative, but learning to not take yourself so seriously doing it.
Okay.
And it was very difficult at first for me to be like, okay, I have an idea and I'm gonna give my idea, but I'm gonna write down how I'm gonna say it, and then I'll pitch it, and then if someone doesn't like it, I'm like, oh, they hate me, they think I'm stupid.
Yeah.
They hate my ideas. They don't want to work with me.
And it's also intimidating being in an office or like
and animation is a boys club for sure.
Okay, really?
There's a lot of
good for you, girl. Queen over here.
But animation has just historically been a boys club. It's all like white boys. I mean, it goes back to like Walt Disney.
Oh, okay.
And
I love Disney. It's my favorite, guys.
We work a little bit with Disney. So
really?
Nice.
Oh, I'm dying.
But it's a boys club, and that's the way most of most of entertainment is. And there's a lot of smaller organizations that are promoting women being in positions of power, and we're shooting for like 2025, and 50% of the women in the industry will be in roles where they are managing teams or managing creative or something. And then there's a handful of groups that are promoting like Black artists and Black creatives, so that those sorts of voices get told more often, because you see so much of, in both live action and animation, not a lot of voices or people of colors. You don't see a lot of diversity. There aren't a lot of people of color, and when you start to see that online, it becomes not online. When you start seeing that on air, that's really important for kids to be able to see themselves.
Yeah.
So
that's so empowering in itself to work in that area as well. And to
so there's a lot to be conscious of too, because like I am still a white straight woman, but I think it's important to be aware of where the gaps are, so that you can then, especially like in a role as a development like producer of sorts, I feel like it's my job to find creatives and boost them and amplify their voices.
Yeah, dude, that's so rad. Like, congrats to you, because we need more people like that in this world to like really have that in their head. Like you said, you might just be a straight white female, but you're still trying to get everyone's voices heard, and you have that power in yourself. You got into the boys club, you're making it, you've gotten promoted to where you are now, and like you're doing it. That's so empowering.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun, and it's so important, and it's nice to be like the voice in the room. Like Oddbot, just because it was started by a guy, there's a lot of guys up there, and I'm one of the women that gets to like sit in the room and be like, okay, but if we're gonna have a Black main character who's a kid, we need to bring out an educational consultant who's gonna speak to the experiences of a Black family. We need to make sure that we're thinking about what this character is gonna look like, so that we're not.
So dope. Like you're you're a boss ass girl. Like you're making it happen.
Is she woke?
Yes, that's
mostly. We're all learning.
So yeah, that's true.
Woke in training.
Obviously, everyone's not perfect, and we're all trying, and that's even great that you're in a position of your own power to really bring that to the table, and your team is looking for you to also bring that power, and that's probably why you got invited into this club.
Yeah,
that's so great, and it just shows that you're such a genuine person, that you are thinking about that, because some people can't say the same thing, you know?
No. There'd be a lot of shit people out there.
Dude, seriously. That's so great. I really do admire that, and I'm sure everyone watching would admire that, because you are also very vocal as an activism on your Instagram, and you so it really full circles your whole story of who you are.
Yeah.
That's so incredible. Do you have any like favorite show you had worked on, then you've seen it come to fruition, and like you like get positive feedback that kids really like it? Was there one show that was like your baby?
Oh my gosh. I wish I had one that was like my true baby.
Okay.
I'm still sort of like working with
people?
With the like
Team?
sperm, eggs. I'm like, it's not quite a baby yet. It's still like sort of in the womb.
There you go.
It hasn't been birthed in.
Birds yet.
But the show that I got to see sort of go from idea to execution was the new Muppet Babies on Disney Junior. So
nice.
Disney came to us and
Shout out Disney.
so they came to us and asked us as a studio to produce the new Muppet Babies. And
That's
through
awesome.
that, we got to sort of like reimagine these characters as these like CG, almost puppeted, like you could reach into the screen and touch them, cute, plushy looking characters.
That's so cute.
And they are just so stinking cute. But we got to like make our own new character, and she's Summer the Penguin, and she's like the artistic one, but it's adding another girl to the group of like what is typically a bunch of like male Muppets and Miss Piggy. So like adding more to it, and then reimagining like Scooter and Skeeter and Benson. I'm gonna sit Olivia Benson. I'm watching too much Just for You.
She's great too.
Beaker and Bunsen and Beaker.
Yes, there you go.
But like reimagining something that has already been done, but for a new audience,
Dude,
and
that's
seeing
so
it go from
dope.
just like someone doodling in a notebook to like full-on animation is such a special feeling.
Yeah.
And then to see like stuff like the toys get sold out on the licensing side, and to talk to, I don't have a lot of kids in my close family, but I have a friend who has a kid, and I was like, do they like Muppet Babies? And they're like, oh my God, they're obsessed. And I'm like, yes.
That's so awesome.
They love it.
All that validation of all your hard work. And
Yeah,
it's like,
from children no less. And they're honest as shit.
they're so honest. That's
They'll tell you if you don't like
for
it.
the personality that you say you have of like needing that validation. That's your perfect audience.
Are you kidding me? I need it.
Yes.
It's funny. So we work on Muppet Babies. We work on a show with Nick Jr. And my boyfriend, his step niece, is sort of like right in that age bracket. So every like on the holidays, she'll like come over, and I'm like, this is my opportunity. I didn't grow up with a lot of kids, so I don't really know how to fully interact with the child.
Yeah,
so
me
it's
too.
very like,
it's like a little awkward.
hello, sir. I'm like, I appreciate your small shoes. Please do not wipe your boogers on me.
It's a great way to put it.
So I'm like, I don't really know how to interact with
It's
you.
like that
But I'm
awkward
like, this is my in.
Yeah.
I work in cartoons. I work in the cartoons that they like.
That's
this is it. And I
true.
remember seeing her and being like, do you like Muppet Babies? And she's like, I only like Paw Patrol. And like walked away, and I was like, damn, okay. I don't work on that show.
Oh no. You're like, oh man.
You're like, ooh, cuts deep.
She's on it.
Yeah, she did not give a shit if that hurt
She's
my
like,
feelings or not.
I don't want your show. Get out of my face.
Yeah, she's
You're
like, do you work on Paw Patrol? No.
Oh, well, at least now you know, like, okay, let me create another show that's like Paw Patrol so I can impress her.
Yeah, I'm trying to impress my
Little
4-year-old step niece.
That's really funny. I think that's true though. Kids are so honest that you really do get an honest reaction where you might talk to like someone who follows you or someone that you're friends with, and they might just like not want to hurt your feelings, be like, oh my God, yeah, it's a great show, but behind the scenes they're not really watching it.
Yeah.
A kid's gonna tell you if they're watching that shit.
Oh my gosh, yeah, they're so funny. We have so much footage of, because most, at least network broadcast specific, Nick Jr., Disney Jr., they'll focus test with like real kids and they'll film it.
Oh, nice.
And you just see kids be like, I didn't like that character. And you're like, damn, okay. And you're like, I just didn't like his hat.
You're like, oh,
He was
change
mean.
the color?
He was mean to the other kid. And you're like, oh my God, okay,
You're like, it's
heard.
pretty, I feel like that's a
Noted.
whole other way of looking at things too. It really broadens your horizons, which I'm sure plays into how you're creating your brand and how you approach shoots with other people. Like you know how to collaborate with people in your board meetings, and then like watching focus groups, you're like, okay, how can I like bring this into the rest of my life?
Yes.
That's awesome. Is there anything about animation that really is like your favorite thing or like your best experience? Or is it just still more of growth for you?
It's a lot of growth, but I just love animated shows.
Yeah.
I think there's something so special about them because they can really transcend sort of the demographic that they're initially meant for.
Yeah.
So shows like Adventure Time, Steven Universe, Infinity Train, Gravity Falls, for example, Avatar, Last Airbender, like all those kinds of shows, like they're made for like a 6 to 11-year-old audience. Like they're made for a 9-year-old. But what a lot of animated content does an incredible job doing is taking these very lighthearted, very silly, really cute characters, but telling a story that is very evergreen and that resonates for both that audience and for an adult audience. But that's why there's so many adults that love Steven Universe, because it's such a fantastic...
Even Adventure Time, tons of people love that show.
Like Pendleton Ward is amazing. But Steven Universe really does an incredible job subtly playing in that like LGBTQ non-binary space, which is fantastic for an adult audience as well as a kid audience, because it's so normalized in the show that like kids don't bat an eye, but adults take a look at that and they see like this sort of nod to like, we're seeing non-binary, we're seeing LGBT. Infinity Train plays with a girl who's dealing with her parents' divorce, but it's not just about that, because she's on a train and her best friend's a corgi who's a king, and also this like weird little Siri-esque ball that has a sad and a happy personality. And her villain is a cat.
So it's a lot of different life lessons in with that.
Yeah, so it's like a way of teaching without knowing you're being taught. Which I think animation just does a beautiful job. Like Spirited Away, Miyazaki movies, they're my favorite of just all time. They're just like sweet, charming movies that always like tell you a lesson or tell you something. Kubo's a great movie.
Whenever it's a Hot Topic, those were really big. Like
Coco's incredible. A lot of the Disney animated features, like you're dealing with like adult
content
themes,
in a way.
But you're telling them in a way that's very accessible to a younger audience. So it like transcends any sort of specific demographic, because your kid's gonna watch it because it's cute as shit. But they're gonna learn a thing or two about how to be maybe a better person, to understand a scenario. And adults can watch it too and be like, I just genuinely enjoy this content.
And that's so important too, because as a kid, they are so moldable that to learn those lessons now in the TV that they're gonna watch anyway is so important. Like, I mean, I watched Disney when I was growing up, and maybe I didn't understand all the themes, but now as a grown adult, I love it just as much as when I did. Even maybe
it takes
more.
on a new meaning.
That's
which I think is an amazing thing, because you can watch something like my favorite Disney movie growing up is Lilo and Stitch.
So good.
And I loved Lilo and Stitch. I thought it was so cute because it had like all those Pokemon-esque elements with the experiments, but it's still about family. But then when you watch it again as an adult, it sort of transforms into new meaning, because it's about I forget her name, Lilo's older sister. They lost their parents. She's dealing with custody and social services, trying to create a new family with like just her and her boyfriend and her little sister, who she now has guardianship over, and this crazy alien that comes in. Like, it's not just about like an alien pet. It's like learning about family, and
outsiders are not so much outsiders, but they belong to, and like not being so afraid of an outsider, someone that's different. I think that's even
so it's just like really sweet stories that have multiple layers to them, like an onion.
That's a really good way to put it. I mean, and sometimes they do make you cry, these shows. Right? Girl, that's a really good way to put it.
Coco will make me cry every time. That is like one of my all-time favorites.
So good. I feel like I wasn't really as much into like the anime, but when I worked at Hot Topic, I would ask the kids that were like coming to buy like Spirited Away, I'm like, what does this really mean to you guys? Like, what is this show about? And then they go in this whole explanation, and it's like changed their life. I'm like, oh my god, that's how I feel about Disney. Like, I love it. Okay, buy it. Like, let's just bring you up. This is so exciting. Like, because people really connect to it, and you don't like, you might view something and have one perspective, and I can view it and have a totally another perspective, and that's so important. That's great. And then, so you're doing so many great things. You're modeling, you're doing animation, and now you just started your YouTube channel. Do you want to talk about that?
How I don't have time to do anything anymore.
I mean, obviously working from home is easier, but how are you really, like, are you working just like a 9 to 5 or an 8 to 5 schedule, or do you go beyond that?
My typical animation studio schedule is 10 to 7.
So
it's a long ass day. But I'm not a morning person. So that's
okay.
It works perfectly for me.
We start at 10, so we're good.
We're perfect. Anything, I would always rather stay up till 4 a.m. working on something than have to wake up at 6 a.m. to work on something. I can't do it.
That's funny. I'm the opposite. I will wake up at 4 in the morning every day.
I do not ever wish to do that.
And
my ideal time to wake up is 10.
That's funny though. That's cool.
So that sort of works to my advantage in a way, because I just like
You're
work
used to later.
until 7, and then I can do whatever else I want when I have my weekends.
Yeah.
The time management part is something I'm still sort of, that's a learning curve for sure.
I make a lot of lists. I have a
Same.
planner.
Oh, I have 3 moleskins.
Yes. I love it.
One is for my to-do list specific to work. One is research for like non-work specific stuff.
Okay.
So like I'll take like master class and stuff online.
That's good.
And I'll listen to like Neil Gaiman or Shonda Rhimes or Helen Mirren, I think, has a really good one.
Okay.
Spike Lee's on there.
Oh, dude, that's
Judd
awesome.
Apatow. So I like have a notebook full of that stuff.
Yeah.
And then also now YouTube research and
So
Instagram research, and just trying to understand how like algorithms work and how you can make them work for you.
It's so confusing.
And then I have another notebook that's specific to kids research. So I have there's like a stack of moleskins that I'm constantly writing in. So that
should sponsor
helps.
you.
Moleskin,
Yes.
sponsor me. But so that kind of helps with the time management part. But starting a YouTube channel was something that I don't think I would have done outside of the pandemic.
Oh, okay.
Because working from home definitely allows me more flexibility, and I've found myself trying to seek out more of a creative outlet that allows me to do something I wouldn't typically be doing. Just to keep things interesting, because I'm fucking bored. And I'm going batshit crazy. I can't do it.
I'm like that mix of extrovert and a little introvert, but the extrovert part of me is fucking dying, dude.
Yeah.
I'm dying. So thanks for coming to my show.
Yes.
So I can talk to you.
Yeah, human interaction is amazing.
Yes.
I'm very happy to be here.
Me too. That's a really good point.
So,
though. Like, we're all fucking bored. So to take boredom and create a channel is so impactful.
Yeah, so it feels like the best possible time for me to use all this sort of like lost, misplaced energy and put it into something that's yields a legitimate result and that is creative and allows me to do something that I've kind of always wanted to do but have always been very nervous about doing. I have always sort of imagined what it would be like if I made a YouTube channel. I feel like I have a weird, quirky enough personality that like I can pull it off. But I've always been like, I can't do it. Like I didn't want to pull the trigger. But
like
I got
scary.
nothing to do. So what better time? And it all sort of started because just with a growing Instagram following, I've had some brands reach out to me. And Uniwigs reached out and they were like, we want to send you. They're like, we want to send you a wig and some lashes, and we want you to send us pictures, but we also want you to film videos. And I was
so
like,
they kind of pushed you
and I was
into
like,
it.
I've never done that before.
How do I do it?
And I was pretty honest with them, and they were just like really nice over like my DMs.
Oh, nice. That's awesome. They were
I was like, I own professional equipment just from being
in that industry of film.
Yeah, so I was like, I have the equipment to do it. And I'll fucking try it. So I did a lash tutorial.
I can Amazon it.
Yeah, or I'll figure it out. So I did a lash tutorial for them first.
And that was your first intro to it. You
that was my first.
That on IGTV.
Yeah, that was my first video I've ever filmed of myself.
Oh, okay.
And it was so nerve-wracking. But after I did that one, and it very quickly got to like 1,500 views, that I was like,
there's something to this.
Maybe there's something I can do. And I know that people make the jump from Instagram to YouTube a lot, and there's a lot of hard work, but it's very easy to make good money on YouTube.
Yeah.
And I'm bored and I want to make money, and why not?
Why not?
So I decided to start figuring out what my channel might look like.
Yeah.
And I was trying to figure out like what my like brand or my niche would be, because all of the research that I did about YouTube was like, okay, find your niche and then find your niche.
Yeah.
And just fucking drive it in.
And it's important to do that research so you know kind of going into it, you're not like blindsided.
Yeah, so I watched so many YouTube videos about how to grow a YouTube channel by YouTubers, which is just like the most meta shit
to do.
But I like learned all about like making a good thumbnail, making a good header, how to like make an interesting video, how to like edit, and I knew how to edit, but how to edit like specific YouTubers. So I'm trying to find my place in between sort of the like glam and gore.
Okay.
Her name's Mikey. Like makeup tutorial, snitchery, I think is another girl that I like a lot. Yeah. Kathleen Lights, like just like the classic beauty YouTubers. And on the flip side of that, like the Jenna Marbles', the Chris Clemens, the Emma Chamberlains, where it's like more comedy personality driven. So I'm trying to find a way to sort of like
blend the
mold the two. Yeah, blend them together to like because my personality leans more into that, like, Chris Clemens, I'm just a fucking weirdo, very extroverted and, like,
very
dramatic.
Fun. It's very fun. You have a very fun personality where your audience would want to watch you, which is very appealing for YouTube.
Thank you. Listen, all I really want are people to want to be my friend, because I want everyone to like me.
I went on Instagram just to, like, have friends. Because I don't have that many friends.
And that's like where it comes from. Like when I did my first YouTube video, I did it by answering a 2010 Tumblr survey, which my reason for choosing that was because I used to answer those kinds of surveys because I was a lonely, sad emo kid and I wanted to feel seen and heard. So you answer the oversharing questions and you overshare on the internet, and like you shouldn't be sharing that with anybody, but you did it anyway. But it makes you feel like you're sharing something with people, and then when people do respond to it, you're like, okay, I feel seen, I feel heard, and I see you and I hear you. And it's a way to like tell your story without being prompted to tell it at all.
It's very like genuine. It's not like here I am, I'm Mars and I'm just gonna tell you about my no, it's like I'm gonna get ready, and if you want to join me, you can learn something about me. It's very genuine. I really enjoyed it. I subscribed. Rad Chat is a subscriber. We support.
Thank you. Yeah, so like that was sort of where I was like, that feels like the best way to get to know like some silly things about me, because that's how I used to like tell people about myself all the time. I was on MySpace answering bulletins. I was on Tumblr giving blog posts. When I was on Facebook, I was doing the same surveys, but like posting them in like the notes section. I still yell into the void on Twitter. I post a lot of inappropriate shit on my Instagram. And I'm like, my favorite thing to do is overshare on the internet.
And that's great because it just shows that you're not afraid of who you are.
Yeah.
Like, this is me, and if you like me, follow me, and if you don't, that's okay too. I'm just trying to be me in this world.
I'm just trying to do my best, but also maybe don't leave a mean comment.
Yes.
One person disliked my video, and I am like
dying because you can't see it. You
obsessed with trying to figure out who it was.
Yeah. So little sidetrack. One, there's like automatic bot trolls. I have one that's disliking my videos, but it's like 6. So I'll have 6 dislikes, but on every video. So it's like very troll or bot-like, but it's only randomly 6. And then you're like, what the fuck? Like, who's doing this? But then it's the worst is that you can't even see it. So you're like, gosh damn it.
Yeah, I was like, who the fuck disliked my video?
I want to think it's like if you get a lot more views, you get like some like bot or troll that comes through.
Yeah.
So don't think about it too much.
Oh, but don't worry, I've definitely overthought about it plenty.
Plenty of time.
Who
just liked my video? Guys, go like her first video of Life on Mars. Get ready with her. Go like it and get rid of that dislike. We need to like way up the likes.
Get rid of it. Yeah, so I'm going to be trying to put out videos ideally every Wednesday. Definitely every Wednesday. Ideally Sundays and Wednesdays.
Okay. Do you know why you chose those 2 days?
Honestly, because that's what a lot of internet people do.
That's what I read.
What the internet people said to do.
Okay.
But more than that, it feels like Wednesday's a good like middle point in the week where you're getting to the hump.
Yeah.
And you need a little pick-me-up. And Sunday's like a good like, you're getting ready for the week, you'll watch it on Sunday. Monday felt like too close to the early of the week, and then Friday felt like the weekend.
See, I do Saturday, which is like risky, but because I did it at the beginning of COVID, I'm thinking like people that are working from home probably are pretty blocked on the week, so at least then on the weekend they can kind of relax.
It's like chill, stop.
But you're right, it's almost like that cusp of time. So that's really smart that you had researched into that.
Yeah, so I was trying to figure out too, like how long should my videos be? How should I cut them? And everything was like 12 to 15 minutes is your sweet spot. And to get monetized, you have to get to 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours and
something like that. So many numbers.
Yeah. So now I have like the YouTube Studio app on my phone where I'm like constantly checking to see if like more than 40 people subscribe to me yet. And then I'm offended that only 42 people are subscribed. So please subscribe.
Please subscribe, guys. Subscribe. We'll put it everywhere.
Oh, happy cry.
Make her day.
Make money. But I like it. So I'm going to try to, tomorrow, I was going to say on Sunday. I don't know what date it is. On Sunday, I'm going to do like a graphic liner tutorial. So I'm going to do like a combination of like more straight up tutorial style stuff. So I was at a ranch in Palm Springs recently.
Nice, those pictures were fun.
It was so much fun. So we went with a group of people who were all like tested before and after. We were in the middle of nowhere.
Everyone's safe.
In the desert.
Sanitized.
Safe done.
Nobody's sick.
Everything was good.
Yeah.
Don't come for me. But we went there and I did cow makeup.
Okay.
Because I thought that'd be cute as fuck.
It was really cute.
So it was like a white eyeliner with cow print on it. And when I showed up with it, everybody who was there was like, oh, give me cow makeup too. So I did everybody's cow makeup.
Nice.
And then the internet also loved it.
A cow print, or you have to make it?
I made it cow print.
Oh, dope.
Which was really easy, but everyone thought it was so hard. So part of my inspiration to be like, oh, I should do a graphic liner video is because it wasn't nearly as hard as it looked to do.
It looks like it's hard, yeah. Especially if you're like,
but
amateur
it's like just white eyeliner and then you just draw some smudges on it. And it looks like cow print.
That's
but
awesome.
then like something with, because Euphoria obviously brought a lot of like really fun, abstracted makeup to the surface, graphic liner is getting more and more popular.
It's really popular.
And the fun part of graphic liner, in my opinion, is that you can't really do it wrong.
True, unless you
and that's the
really
whole,
do too.
Like the whole point is that it can look like
be.
anything. It's not supposed to look like traditional eyeliner.
Yeah, I love that they started putting it at the top.
Yeah, so I was gonna do 3 different kinds of graphic liner looks and show how easy they are to like really pull off.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna try to do a good combination of like tutorials that are like that.
Okay.
Then like the get readies with me where I'm drinking and doing stupid shit. I want to have my boyfriend do my makeup.
Oh, that's a fun one.
I thought that would be silly.
Yeah.
He's a great on-camera personality. I want to do like a newlywed game with my best friend.
Oh,
I want to do like an upcycling thing where I try to make ugly clothes in my closet that I won't get rid of cute again.
Yeah, that's a good one because we all have that. Like,
yeah, like you got a pair of jeans that you will not let go of.
I'll wear these, and then you never fucking wear it.
Yeah, I've got a pair of Forever 21 jeans that I will not get rid of. They were dirt cheap, but they're just like perfect denim blue jeans with knee slits. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna draw something on them. So I want to get like some paint and maybe draw like a cool snake going up the side or like some flames or something.
And then that you can use in photo shoots.
Yeah, so I figured that would be like a fun video of like upcycling.
Yeah.
And just trying to like get creative about things that I can do, different makeup looks that I can do, stuff that's inspired by or recreations of other people's looks.
Yeah.
Or just like drawn back on the fact that I've been obsessed with Sailor Moon since I was 3.
Hey,
so
that's fine.
And just
I'm
look
obsessed
Sailor
with
Moon.
freaking Alice in Wonderland. We're good.
Which this is amazing, by the way.
Dude, it's gonna be a video. We'll talk.
Yes.
But dude, that's so awesome because I feel like drawing inspiration is so important, but also that whole everything you just talked about, like people are gonna watch that. Like it's so exciting.
I hope so.
People want to learn how to do that. They see your photo on Instagram, like, oh, this is a dope ass model. Oh wait, she has a channel. It also gives you so much depth to yourself that you're not just like a model that lives in LA. Because I feel like that's a big stigma that we both probably have. Like, oh, you're just in LA as a model. But like, no, I'm not from here originally. Okay, like don't put me in that box. But it gives you
we multi-dimensional women.
Yes.
Multi-dimensional.
And then that gives people such a look into who Mars is. Like they might see your photo and yeah, you do have really engaging captions and you do talk to your audience and you do like tell about who you are. But then they look at your channel and they're like, oh wait, this girl is like, I can relate to her so much more. Or maybe I don't relate to her in some things, but this is hilarious. I'm gonna watch. Or maybe I really want to learn how to do my eyeliner. That's super dope. Do you pre-plan them? Like, have you already recorded them, or do you like to do them like on the day and like be more realistic about it? How is your process?
Ideally, I want to get to a place where I can sort of like shelve some, like shoot some and then shelve them, so that if I can't film 1 week because I'm sick or I'm out of town, I can upload stuff that's sort of pre-recorded. For the time being, I'm shooting on my weekends and then uploading on Wednesdays.
Got you.
So that I have a couple days to edit because it does take me a lot of time.
Are you doing all the editing yourself?
Yes. Nice. So I'm doing the whole studio. I'm lighting it myself. I'm shooting it myself. The audio, my boyfriend's like overseeing.
Okay.
But when it comes to editing, it's like 100% me.
Okay, nice.
So it takes a very long time.
Yeah.
So lots of weed and alcohol helps.
There you go. That's fine. Is there any like specific programs you love to use, just for anyone interested?
I shoot on a camera 60D, but like you definitely don't need to shoot on like a legitimate DSLR like that. An iPhone works.
We're doing an iPhone, but everything's fine.
Yeah, an iPhone is perfect, or just like a small like kind of point and shoot camera is plenty.
Oh, like little digital.
I honestly right now am editing off of iMovie.
Okay.
Eventually I want to get Final Cut Pro, which I learned when I was in college. It's just it's honestly a little bit more user friendly and just has more
to do with it.
Fun shit you can do. Just like sort of amp up that editing. But iMovie's free. We do all of the audio you can do it through GarageBand.
Oh, that's a big, and that's like right on the apps.
Yeah,
too, right?
so you can do a lot, and there are fantastic apps for editing on your phone.
Yeah. I use Vlogstar.
Yeah. So there's so much great content, like ways to create great content that really doesn't cost you anything.
Yeah.
That you can just set up. You use natural lighting. I bought lights on Amazon.
Okay.
So I have soft boxes that I use.
Oh, nice.
Just because I typically, just to my schedule, will shoot at night.
Okay, so it's better.
So there's no lighting.
You don't have any natural light. At least we have some natural
My apartment
light.
gets way too warm during the day
Dude,
just because of the west-facing windows. And we have an AC, but like it's fucking loud.
Yeah.
So
and who else wants to spend all the money in AC when I could just put dark shades and like
exactly.
be living
I'm
in
like,
the
or we
dark.
can just light this shit at night when it's cold.
When it's cold, yeah. That's a good
So-
way. It's good that you have different programs that you use, so you have more versatility. If
Yeah.
one's down, you have another one you can use, and that's really good that you already have that knowledge from college that kind of transcends. You're like, I didn't just waste all my money in college. I'm putting it to use.
Cries in student debt.
Yeah, dude, same. I had out-of-state tuition too. So,
Oh.
because I went to school out here, and that's where I got fucked.
Yep.
But it's alright. It's alright.
Yeah, no one taught me what like student loans really meant.
Right?
They were just like, yeah, it's just money you owe later, and I was like, that's fine.
Yeah. I'm like, sign me up. I need to get out of here.
That's fine.
If you guys need help on student loans, you can ask us. We're experienced.
Yeah. Also, don't spend that
do
much
it.
money in college. It's not fucking worth
Go
it.
to community college, honestly.
Yeah,
Go to
get
community
your-
college first.
Yeah, get your 2 years at community college, get your general, like your
So
gen
crazy.
ed credits, and then go to a specialty
Yeah,
school.
I wish I did that, but I just
Yeah,
was
like everyone
so...
looked down on that kind of
Yeah,
stuff growing
right?
up, and now I'm like, they
Do
fucking
it!
did it right. Are you
Right.
kidding me?
Same,
I've
bro.
got $35,000 in student loan debt, which
don't
like
even wanna know
in
mine.
comparison to a lot of people is not a lot. And like I
But it's
had
like a
financial
weight.
aid, I had scholarships, so like it didn't cost me $220,000 to go to Ithaca, but
still, it's like a weight that's like always on us.
yeah, and also like shouldn't cost that much money to go to
But
college.
now that's why you guys need to subscribe to her YouTube channel so she can pay off her student
Yeah,
loans.
please subscribe and so I can pay off my debt and also register to vote.
Yes.
And vote for
That's
it.
coming up, right?
Mhm.
Yes. So guys, register to
Yeah,
vote.
so please register to vote so that we can eliminate student debt because it should not be so expensive.
Yes, poor Bernie.
Everything's
man.
privatized.
Yes. We definitely don't need Trump
So-
again, but we won't. People might hate on that. We'll just steer clear. But that's really awesome too because it's like you have so much different talent that you can really use it everywhere. Like your animation talent, your YouTube talent, your modeling talent. It's so artistic that's just shows who you are. You're just like a creative being, and that's so empowering to meet creative people because I felt like my whole life I wasn't creative, and then when you like put yourself around creative people, I like you embody that. Like, oh, I want to be more
Yeah.
creative because I'm inspired, or like, oh my god, this person has so many talents. Like I need to like, what is my talent? So it's really great because it's like not only do you have all this artistic background, but you're such a positive person. Like people that follow you, you're so positive, and like we need more people like that. So it's great you're starting a YouTube channel to like put out positivity, especially in this day and age where we need gems like Mars.
Gems.
That's so great. Do you feel like there's anything else that like you would want to say or promote or just like advice you want to give?
Be nice to others. Black Lives Matter. Don't vote for Trump.
You heard it here. And then is there anywhere
You're like, wow, did not expect her to say only political shit.
That's fine. We're here.
Also, just be nice to everybody.
We are open to everyone. Everyone can come and sit. We'll always have a conversation. But it's really great to get messages out and use the platform we're given. And it's so great you're doing that in your Instagram life, you're doing it on your YouTube life, you're doing it on your actual real life job life. So like, guys, go support Mar, go follow her. We'll tag her pages here. Everything you can find is on your Instagram, which is...
Yeah, I am at Instagram as @YoungPlanet. That's YUNG.planet.
We'll put it down here somewhere, put some glitter around her.
Glitter.
And then so people can look out for just basic photo shoots. So you're open to booking photo shoots, or
Yes.
right now, are you not? Like, what is
I
it?
am still booking shoots right now.
Okay.
Like socially distanced for the most part. I'm trying to keep it limited.
Gotcha.
But like
Okay.
am open for bookings.
Okay, nice. And you'll do any type of photo shoot? You're not very, you don't mind?
Yeah, I'm pretty much open to everything.
Nice. So you guys can book her and then reach out on her DMs or email. Everything's on her Instagram, and then her YouTube channel is right in her bio. So you just click it, it takes you right there. It's super easy, but again, it's called Life on Mars.
Yes.
Why
Just
did
like
you
the-
choose that?
I chose that. Number one, it's a David Bowie song.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say
Which
when
is
you
great.
first search it, you have to be careful because if you just go to YouTube and you search life on Mars, it
does
up
not
with
come
the
up
David
right
Bowie. So you have to actually
I gotta
search.
pump myself up in that
Yeah.
search engine still.
But I mean, David Bowie is king, but I mean, if you put in life on Mars, get ready, that'll pop up right away. And it's the first video, and all you have to put is get ready. I tried it for you.
Thank you. I was curious where I fell in the search. But I was trying really hard to find like a good pun of sorts.
Yeah.
Because I didn't want to use my last name.
Yeah.
So I can keep them a little bit separate. Obviously, being on YouTube, it's a public platform. I'm not trying to hide it from work.
Yeah.
I'm not doing anything too crazy on there, but also my Instagram's public and everyone can see my butt if you want to see it. It's fine. I don't really care.
I feel like it's just a butt. Everyone
listen, I'm like one bad day away from making an OnlyFans, so listen.
Hey, there's OnlyFans, there's Patreon, there's everything.
There's plenty of ways to make some good ass money online. Yeah. But I was struggling to try to figure out, because everybody I've noticed on YouTube calls their audience something.
Yeah.
And first off, I didn't want to just like jump in and be like, hello Martians, because 7 people are watching. But eventually I wanted to get to a place where I could say that, like, if I talk to my audience, I call them Martians. If I talk about the group of people that follow me, they're a Martian colony. And I was like, well, what's a fun way to sort of play with it?
I didn't think of that at all.
Yeah.
So, girl, you're teaching
I
me
can't take all the
something.
credit. My friend Alexis did help me with that.
That's awesome.
but
And that's such a fun little clever thing, especially because it ties back to your Instagram name.
So it's like something that's very much mine. So Life on Mars felt very like cute and a little cheesy, but just like the right amount of cheese.
Yeah. Cheesy is always okay in our book.
Yeah, listen, keep it coming.
Yes, I just love cheese in general.
Same.
If you watch Always Sunny in Philadelphia, I'm
Yes.
like Charlie Kelly and the cheese platter.
Yes, I've seen all of them.
Yes, so good.
But yeah, I just wanted something that was like fun and easy and like kept my name in it, just sort of across the board. It was toss up whether or not I wanted to use Young Planet.
Okay,
but I didn't want to use. I wanted to use my name in it.
Gotcha. Okay.
So, but I also didn't want to change my Instagram because that's what people know me as.
Okay.
But it's all like planetary. There's some crossover there.
I think that's smart because then it kind of brands like your Instagram. They can see that there, but then you also have it in your bio where they're like, oh wait, she has a whole channel, and it's like a whole. Let's go on another like exploration of it. So that's really smart, and it's good that you thought of your audience, because then it's like, oh, like that's really sweet. I feel like I didn't do that at all. We'll just be called rad chatters. We'll
think of something rad.
Just rad.
I'll text you something.
But that's really, I love that, because I feel like that's really important, because it's like you do have your own people, and it's like people that follow you are already with you, and then it's like, oh wait, we can be our own little like planet. That's so sweet.
Yeah, I wanted to do something
our
cute.
Colony is what
something
you said.
I love so much about YouTube is that, like, watching people like Jenna Marbles, watching people like Chris Clemens, especially when they just sort of like do anything and just sit down with camera and just talk to you, it feels very intimate, even though it's not. Yeah. And I think that's something that first off takes time to like feel that comfortable in front of the camera and talking to the camera, because that's fucking weird.
It's hard.
So, but there's something so easy and digestible about that kind of content, and just makes you feel like you're hanging out with that person, like you really know them.
Yes.
Do I know Jenna Marbles personally? Absolutely not.
But
do I feel like I do? Yes. Am I invested in all of her dogs and their lives? Yes. And I feel like I genuinely care about her, and not just like as a brand, but as a person. Yeah. And I feel like that's sort of the kind of connection I want to make with people that watch me. That feels like I'm just here, I'm doing my best. I ain't perfect. Yeah. But we can just do things together. And I want to feel like I could be your friend, you could be my friend. Exactly. Because I want everybody to be my friend anyway, as I'm still attacking this microphone. Oh, you're good. But I want people to feel like they could be my friend.
Yeah, and I think that's important because it's such a good message right now, and I feel like, so how we kind of met is because Melissa with Skin Deep Photo, love her. Yeah. She shoots all these really positive, amazing people, and then all of a sudden you start like liking her photos, and then they like your photo, and then it becomes this really empowering group that you're like, wait, I feel like I know these other models now, and then we connected, and it was like, oh shit, like I feel like I know you, but I don't actually know you, like we're just meeting today. Yeah. And it's like, that's so great, because you probably have tons of followers that feel like they know you, and then they're gonna go to your YouTube and then really feel like they know you, because you're gonna be more intimate there, you have a bigger platform to discuss who you are on there. That's so great, it's so incredible.
Thank you.
It's really empowering too, just as a woman, to do it as well. Especially since you said, like, at work you're more in the boys club, but this is like your own brand of like empowering and uplifting women, which is really important nowadays.
Yeah,
too.
like figure out how to like wear makeup that's for you. Do whatever, like be any kind of woman that you want to be. And instead of feeling like you have to fit into some sort of box of either like traditional beauty or like traditionally ladylike, because I'm not ladylike. You watch my video, there should be a burp counter
You should
on
do
there.
that.
But like my boyfriend made the joke at the end of the film. He's like, all of your B-roll is burp roll.
Yes. Well,
but it's
you
like you
should
get
put
to
the
see
bloopers
different
out.
kinds of women, and it's like there is no one way to be anything. We're all very multidimensional. I like makeup and beauty things. I like tattoo things, but that isn't the only part of me. I also work in animation, and I take my job very seriously. And
she's a true boss, guys. She's fun, she's classy, and she's a hard worker. Get at her, like her.
yeah.
But it's also cool too, because I feel like most people that are on, like, that's why I also want to focus on animation, because most people, they think like, oh, you're just a YouTuber or you're just like a model and you're on Instagram and you're trying to be like Insta famous. But you're like, no, I have a real job. Like, I'm like hardworking and I really am creative, and I'm just bringing that into this new space.
Yeah,
So
and I
that's
think
really
people
important.
too don't realize how much work goes into
all of this.
Especially like growing an Instagram is a lot of work. Like to make that transition in the way that you look at your own Instagram and saying, okay, how do I actually brand this? How do I turn this into a business? How do I promote myself? Like it's hard. There's a lot of like algorithm shit you're fighting with, a lot of algorithm.
every day too.
It's always changing.
The hashtags are banned and it's like, fuck.
So it's a whole, like, that's a job.
Yeah.
That's a job in itself, and it's a job you're not getting paid to do. It's a job that you are choosing to like put the work in every day, and every time you shoot, like, you're buying your own outfits, you're styling yourself. Like, I know you work with a makeup artist who's amazing.
She's fun. Shout out to Sandra.
Yes.
Love her.
She always, like, your makeup always looks amazing, but it's like, for the most part, we're pulling all of that stuff off ourselves.
And
so
sometimes we're mostly doing it ourselves.
Yeah,
Or we're,
I
like,
do all of my own hair and makeup.
Yeah.
If I have like a theme shoot coming up, I go out and I buy my own stuff that I think is gonna like look good
I'm
on
always a
camera.
nasty gal. What can I buy for this shoot?
Same, because their shit is just
It's so good.
It's perfect and cheap as hell.
It's so cheap. And you can do like Klarna and like just pay it later.
Yeah, exactly. I get plenty of stuff on Amazon.
Yes. But that's really, you're right, it's a own beast, and it's like its whole separate job, which takes you away from your friends, it takes you away from your boyfriend or your girlfriend or your partner.
Especially people who look at it like, oh, it's just Instagram. Why are you taking it so seriously? I used to be really good friends. I used to be friends with these people who shall remain nameless because not great
we won't
people.
be hater on anyone.
But I remember it was around the time that I first started actively being like, okay, I'm going to tag a lot of people in my photos. I'm going to use a bunch of hashtags. I'm going to post during certain times of the day. I'm going to pay attention to the analytics of what my posts look like. And I remember going out for like drinks or something that first weekend and then being like, I can't imagine putting that much work into Instagram. It just feels like it's so much work. And I was like, well, it is, but it isn't also. It's like work I'm willing to put in, so it doesn't really, why not?
Bother you,
And I feel like that sort of attitude comes from thinking that growing on Instagram or growing on YouTube is easy and does happen overnight, but it doesn't. There's so much that happens behind the scenes in taking the photo that looks good, that gets 1,500 likes or something. Like, to get to that place, you have to do so much so that it looks like you've done nothing. Which is what fucking Nirvana did. That's how Nirvana became so successful. It takes.
I like wearing Nirvana.
Hey, yeah, like Kurt Cobain talks so much in. I forget. I have one of the Kurt Cobain journal books, but he talks a lot about how it's cost a lot of money and it took a lot of time and a lot of fucking effort to look like they didn't fucking try it all. And that's the whole thing. It's like he was playing all those shows at those venues and talking to all of the promoters and talking to all of the agents that were out there, was putting all of that work in so that they could have that we don't give a shit attitude.
And then you just think they don't give a shit, but they like did.
But that's the magic of it, is to make it look effortless.
And that's also a good thing to transcend back into mental health, like, because that is also another reason probably why he had a little bit more issues, because you're so focused into something, you have to also take time for yourself. Like, yes, you want to grow your business, and really that's so important, but don't, if someone's hating on you, don't think of it, because if you're doing it, you're doing it. Stand by it. But
haters make you famous.
Yes, true. Sometimes.
So my boyfriend is constantly saying, he was saying, he's like, oh, you'll know you made it when people start leaving hate comments. When people start engaging with your comment just to hate on you.
That's true. Because, you know, I guess it's like any publicity is good publicity in a sense, but not like.
Which, like, I get, but I'm also like, please don't be mean to me.
Please don't be mean to me, yeah. Because it's like I'm strong enough now, but I'm also not strong enough.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm tough. But, like, I'm tough in the way that, like, Powerpuff Girls, like, Bubbles is, like, crying, and she's like, I'm hardcore.
She's trying to be Buttercup, but she's never going to be Buttercup.
Yeah. I feel like that. Like, I'm tough, but I'm also like, don't be mean. That's just me.
Like, we might have tattoos, but we're really sensitive. Yeah. So don't like
don't be deceived.
But that's really important. I think that's empowering, too, because it does take a lot of hard work. It is, like, a second job.
Yeah.
And so, guys, please, if you're going to do it, put in the work, and that pays
it's
off.
worth it. It's worth it.
Yeah. Is there anything else that you would want to say to people if they are trying to grow an audience? Any tips or any last parting words you'd like to get out?
My only advice could only ever to be yourself.
Yeah.
And to do it because you want to be entertaining and because you want to put yourself out there, not because you want to get like rich and famous.
Yeah. People will know when you're fake. It's not
we don't want that.
No.
There are enough people in LA and on social media that are doing YouTube and doing Instagram because they just want the money and the clout.
Yeah.
But when you do it for like real reasons and you really just want to be your genuine self and put yourself out there,
people will attract to that.
Yeah. People can see authenticity.
Yeah. That's important too. And that's really good advice because like we don't need more fake people. We need true people and true souls. Which is why I'm so happy you came on my show because I am just about spreading magic and positive people and like genuine people that have genuine like attitudes towards the world, and like you're just trying to live now in this positive space and like bring people different types of art forms, and that is so important, guys, and especially for everyone, like so important. So thank you for what you do. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. So guys, follow her on Instagram. We'll tag it all. Check out her YouTube. She'll be posting every Wednesday and Sundays most of the time, so watch out for it.
Yeah, and subscribe here. Like this video.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
Bye.